And hello again, everybody. This is Michael Dempsey for HorseBettingWorld.com. We're only 10 days out from the Kentucky Derby, and I'm going to take a quick look at my top 10 Derby contenders, as well as the early betting prices on these horses. Of course, you can shop around online, some of our sponsors, and see if you can find a little bit better price. I'm going to quote the prices available in Las Vegas at Wynn Race and Sportsbook. First off, a quick shout out to the new voice of the Triple Crown. That's going to be Larry Colmus. Tom Durkin is stepping down after calling the last 30 Triple Crown races. Monmouth Park and Gulfstream Park announcer Larry Colmus will be taking over and will be calling the 137th running of the Kentucky Derby on the first Saturday of May on NBC. He'll be announcing all three races, and NBC announced there's going to be 27 hours of network coverage between NBC and their sister station Versus over the course of the Triple Crown season. So plenty of outstanding action we'll be able to see on network television. My top 10 Derby contenders: at number 10 at 16 to 1 in the early betting at Wynn is Mucho Macho Man, who's only beaten 3/4 of a length in the Louisiana Derby, and of course it's well documented he lost a shoe in that race. He seems to be fired just about every time out. He did win the Risen Star 2 back. His pedigree is a little bit short for handling a 1.25 miles, and his trainer Kathy Ridfo has only won with two horses out of her last 50 starters through April 25th. He's going to be in the mix here, but probably a better shot to land 3rd, 4th, or 5th. Mucho Macho Man 16 to 1. Number 9 on my list is Pants on Fire, who is currently 22 to 1 at Wynn. The colt bounced back off a subpar effort in the Risen Star with a game win in the Louisiana Derby by neck over Nero, who came back to run a very good second in the Arkansas Derby in his next start. The 6-week break is a bit of concern. No horses won the Kentucky Derby off this type of a layoff for more than 50 years, so that's a big question mark. His pedigree is coming up a little bit on the light side to handle a 1.25 miles as well. Pants on Fire number 9 at 22 to 1. Number 8 is Animal Kingdom, who is currently 30 to 1 in the early betting. The main question mark surrounding this colt is the fact he hasn't raced on conventional dirt yet. He was a good-looking winner of the Spiral Stakes over the Poly Track at Turfway Park in his stakes debut. His participation in the Derby hinges on how well he takes to the Churchill Downs main track over the next 10 days or so. He just had a recent workout, but Grand Motion worked him out at Keeneland instead of Churchill Downs. Churchill Downs has been getting a lot of rain over the last couple of days, but keep a close eye on this guy's next workout if Graham does move him over to Churchill Downs. His pedigree leans more towards turf, but he does have plenty of stamina in the pedigree, and he should be able to handle the 1.25 miles. Number 7 on the list is Master of Hounds at 25 to 1 in the early betting. And most years, any horse coming from overseas is pretty much a complete toss for me. However, this has been such a goofy year that the colt should be given a pretty good look over the next week or so. His last start was a nose loss to a very highly regarded filly in the UAE Derby, a Grade 2 race in Dubai. He's in good hands with one of the world's top trainers in Aidan O'Brien. He's 25 to 1 in the early betting. Number 6 on the list is Shackelford, who's 20 to 1. He worked his way into the Derby field this week with the defections of the Factor and JP's Gusto. The colt nearly pulled off a huge upset when he set a sharp early pace and held on gamely to come up just a head short of Dialed In the Florida Derby at 69 to 1. He broke his maiden over the Churchill Downs main track last year, and he appears to be getting really good at the right time. I really like this horse early on, then I kind of got off him again. Now I'm back on him. I'm glad to see he made the Derby field. He's 20 to 1 right now. Number 5 on the list at 7 to 1 is Nero. He's only won 1 of 5 starts, but the colt is, I think this colt's going to be the wise guy choice among Derby bettors. He showed that his neck loss in the Louisiana Derby wasn't a fluke, which I thought it might have been. He nearly won the Arkansas Derby. It's really a good effort. So he's come out on the wrong end of photos in his last 2 starts. The colt still appears to have some upside potential and has enough pedigree to handle the distance as well. He's by Mineshaft out of a stakes winner. He's dropped 2 other stakes winners, Sweet Lips and St. Martin. So that's Nero 7 to 1, a little bit short on the betting. Remember last year in the 20-horse field, there was only 3 horses under the odds of 10 to 1. The favorite in that race was Looking at Lucky at 6.3 to 1. So that was the betting favorite in last year's Kentucky Derby. So let's not take too short a price if you're going to bet a week in advance. Number 4 on my list at 15 to 1 is Toby's Corner, the Grand Motion trainee. Knocked off Uncle Mo in the Wood as my top pick. Paid a nice $19.40 for the win. His buyer speed figure in the Wood was 94, and that's a far cry from his sire Bellamy Road, who won a 2005 Wood Memorial with 120 buyer. Well, his sire bounced in the Derby, checking in 7th, and Toby's Corner is going to come into this Derby off a career top, but he looks like he still may have some upside potential too. Grand Motion, a very good trainer, and I think Toby's Corner is a serious contender at 15-1. Number 3 on the list, he moved up a couple spots from my list last week, is Uncle Mo. He's 10-1. He's the 2010 two-year-old champion. He came out of his disappointing third place finish in the Wood with a infection, which gave him a convenient excuse for his subpar effort. He did come back with a sharp work on Tuesday, and he looks like he may be back on his game. So I moved him up a little bit. I'm going to keep a close eye on him. I think he's going to bounce back with a much better effort. Maybe going to watch his works in the next week or so. And he could end up, so many experts, so-called experts, are kind of getting off the Uncle Mo bandwagon. So his price may start drift up by post time on the first Saturday of May. We're currently right now at Win, he's 10-1. Number 2 on my list at 12-1 is Arch. The Arkansas Derby really set up really good for him. He came with a good late rally and held off Narrow to win by a neck at 25-1 odds. He's by Arch out of a Woodmere mare who has a half-sister that won a stake at 9 furlongs. So he looks like he's got enough pedigree to get the distance. Now his connections, his trainer Jinx Fires and his jockey John Court, a little bit under the radar. John Court's not going to be mistaken for Calvin Burrell. So the casual sports fans who put a lot of money in the win pool on Derby Day, they're not going to really know Jinx Fires and John Court. So I think Arch may end up a pretty decent price on Derby Day. Right now he's 12-1, and I think he's a legitimate Derby threat to win the race. Number 1 on my list, who's going to probably end up as the Derby favorite, is Dialed In. He's currently 4-1 at Win. That's a little bit low. I would shop around and get a little bit better price, or wait until Derby Day. Don't forget, Looking at Lucky last year was better than 6-1 as the betting favorite. So I think Dialed In's probably going to go off between 5-1 and 6.5-1. That's going to be the betting favorite if there's a 20-horse field. So 4-1 right now is a little bit low. So shop around a little bit and see if you can find a little bit better price if you want to get in early on Dialed In. Trainer Nick Zito's got a couple Kentucky Derby wins already, and this late running colt, it's going to go off as a favorite. We saw nothing but upsets throughout the whole Triple Crown or Derby Trail this year, and he was one of the few legitimate, logical horses that won his final prep, the Florida Derby. He did that in fine fashion at 3-1. He's going to need some luck to get a good trip. It looks like there's going to be enough speed in this race, although we have lost some of the speed, like in the Factor. But I think there's still going to be an honest pace in the race. He's going to need a little bit of luck because he's probably going to have to pass 12, 14, 16 horses. He's going to be near the back of the pack. So you're going to need a little bit of luck too. And that's another reason you don't want to settle for 4-1. You're much better off looking for a little bit better price. I'm hoping this guy is going to be around 6-1, or maybe even threaten the record of 6.3-1 that Looking at Lucky was last year as the Derby favorite. That's the top 10. Make sure you stop by horsebettingworld.com throughout Derby week for updates. Also check us out on Twitter and on Facebook, and I'll have full card analysis of the entire Kentucky Oaks and Kentucky Derby card coming up next week. Good luck at the races.